Dear friends, subscribe to my channel, Viral Story Hub.
What? Your channel?
Yes, make my channel famous. Come on, everyone, subscribe. Story Hub, subscribe.
Okay, I'm subscribing.
Hands trembled, but her eyes held quiet fire, the kind born from years of sacrifice no one in that room ever saw. He laughed louder, seeking approval from the crowd, unaware every cruel word was breaking something inside his own family. The chandelier lights reflected on polished floors as whispers spread, some mocking, some feeling shame for staying silent there. She remembered nights without food, choosing her children's smiles over her hunger, building strength where life offered none. The host's daughter watched closely, sensing truth beyond status, feeling a strange respect rising for the woman before her. Music began softly in the background, and something changed in the air, like destiny waiting for courage to step forward. She removed her cleaning gloves slowly, not in anger, but with calm purpose, as if reclaiming a voice long ignored. Every movement carried pain, pride, and love for her family, turning humiliation into silent strength before everyone present. No one knew that moment would soon transform shame into respect, and a broken heart into a story of redemption. She stepped forward slowly, the hall watching closely, as if time paused to witness a quiet soul claiming her dignity back. Her feet touched the floor gently, yet each step carried years of struggle, love for her children, and silent resilience. The music grew clearer, and her movements followed naturally, not as performance, but as truth, finally finding expression. Guests who laughed moments ago now stared silently, feeling discomfort as confidence replaced the shame they expected. The rich man's smile faded slowly, confusion replacing pride as he realized the room's attention no longer belonged to him. She moved with simple grace, not trained, not perfect, but real, shaped by hardship and hope, stronger than fear. The host's daughter felt tears forming, seeing a reflection of strength her own protected life had never required. Whispers turned into silence, and silence turned into respect, as hearts recognized courage without a single spoken word. Her dance carried memories of sacrifice, nights of hunger, and promises made to children waiting for her safe return. Even the servants paused their work, watching one of their own rise with dignity. No insult could ever diminish again. The rich man looked around helplessly, sensing judgment growing, realizing arrogance had made him smaller than he believed. In that quiet hall, power shifted gently, proving respect is never owned by status, but earned through human strength. Her steps grew steadier, each motion speaking of a mother who endured storms quietly so her children could sleep in peace. The room watched without breathing, as if truth itself had taken form, moving with dignity no insult could ever erase. The rich man shifted uncomfortably, realizing his laughter now echoed as cruelty in the hearts of those around him. She turned gently, eyes calm, showing no anger, only the strength of someone who survived pain without losing kindness. Memories of unpaid bills and empty plates fueled her courage, transforming hardship into grace before every watching eye. The host's daughter clasped her hands tightly, feeling shame for privilege and admiration for the courage before her. Soft music wrapped the hall, but it was her quiet resolve that filled the space with meaning deeper than sound. Guests exchanged glances, understanding slowly that dignity does not belong to wealth, but to those who protect their values. Her movement spoke of love stronger than humiliation, a silent promise to her children that respect can be reclaimed. The rich man lowered his gaze briefly, sensing the distance growing between his pride and the truth unfolding openly. Even the elders nodded quietly, recognizing a lesson life rarely teaches without pain, humility, and deep reflection. In that moment, she was no servant in their eyes, but a mother, a fighter, and a symbol of unbreakable self-worth. The music deepened, and her movements grew stronger, like a mother protecting her children without speaking a single word. People who once ignored her now watched with respect, realizing courage often lives quietly where no one chooses to look. The rich man felt unease rising in his chest, as if truth was exposing the emptiness behind his prideful authority. She remembered her children waiting at home, believing their mother could survive anything life placed before her path. Her simple steps carried stories of sacrifice, transforming humiliation into strength that filled the hall with heavy silence. The host's daughter wiped a tear, understanding dignity is not given by status but protected through courage and pain. Guests lowered their eyes, feeling guilt for laughter that once seemed harmless, but now echoed like injustice revealed. She raised her chin slightly, not in defiance, but in calm acceptance of her worth beyond wealth or approval. The rich man looked around for support, but found only quiet faces, reflecting disappointment he could no longer escape. Her dance became a message for every parent struggling unseen, proving love gives strength when respect is denied. Even the servants stood taller watching her, feeling hope awaken where years of silence had buried their voices. That night was no longer about a servant's place, but about humanity, remembering what true respect really means. Silence grew heavier, and her steady breathing echoed strength shaped by years of struggle no applause had ever honored. The rich man felt his confidence slipping away, replaced by an unfamiliar weight pressing deeply against his conscience. She moved gently, carrying memories of sleepless nights spent working so her children could dream without fear of hunger. Guests began to see her not as a servant, but as a mother whose sacrifices built a world others enjoyed daily. The host's daughter stepped closer unconsciously, drawn by a truth that shattered every illusion of status she believed. Her eyes remained calm, showing forgiveness before apology, strength before recognition, dignity before validation from others. The rich man remembered his own mother's hardships, and shame quietly entered a heart long protected by pride alone. Music softened, yet her presence grew stronger, like a silent voice demanding justice without anger or accusation. Even laughter from moments earlier now felt distant, replaced by reflection, spreading slowly across every watching face. Her dance was no longer movement, but testimony that respect belongs to those who endure pain without losing humanity. The rich man lowered his head slightly, realizing power without compassion becomes weakness when truth stands unafraid. In that hall, a transformation began quietly, turning arrogance toward regret and silence toward awakening hearts. The rich man finally met her eyes, and for the first time he saw not a servant, but a mother carrying quiet, endless strength. Her steps slowed, yet the weight of her story filled the room, pressing gently against hearts that once chose comfort over truth. He remembered harsh words spoken carelessly, now echoing loudly inside him, exposing pride he could no longer defend with ease. She moved with calm grace, showing no desire for revenge, only dignity that refused to bend before humiliation or fear. Guests watched in reflection, realizing silence can wound deeply when injustice stands openly before their unspoken judgment. The host's daughter approached closer, seeing courage shaped not by privilege, but by sacrifice and relentless responsibility. The music softened again, yet emotion grew stronger, wrapping the hall in a shared understanding of human worth. Her dance carried love for her children, a promise that respect is earned through resilience when the world offers none. The rich man's hands trembled slightly as regret found space within a heart once shielded by authority and wealth. Even those who once mocked her now felt shame rising quietly. Understanding dignity cannot be measured by status or title. She paused briefly, breathing steady, standing tall as proof that strength often lives where recognition rarely visits. In that fragile silence, change began inside many hearts, planting seeds of remorse that would soon demand honest action. She lowered her hand slowly, and the final note faded, leaving behind a silence heavier than any spoken apology there. The rich man stepped forward uncertainly, pride battling regret, as every watching eye demanded truth without a word. He remembered his own daughter watching him, realizing respect taught at home begins with actions others quietly witness. Her calm face held no anger, only tired strength, the kind built by years of choosing dignity over despair daily. Guests felt the moment shift deeply, sensing that humility had finally entered a heart once guarded by arrogance. The host's daughter stood beside the maid gently, offering silent support that bridged the distance between status and humanity. His voice trembled slightly as he spoke, not with authority, but with a man confronting the weight of his actions. He apologized openly, not to restore image, but to honor the dignity he had once denied before everyone present. Tears formed quietly in several eyes, as guilt transformed into respect and judgment softened into understanding. She nodded with grace, accepting the apology not for herself alone, but for every unseen worker carrying silent burdens. That moment reshaped the room's spirit, proving redemption begins when pride yields to truth without resistance. In the quiet aftermath, hearts recognized that dignity restored can illuminate even the darkest corners of human character. The hall breathed again, but nothing felt the same, as respect replaced judgment and silence carried a new meaning for all. The rich man thanked her quietly, not as master to servant, but as one human honoring another's strength and truth. She thought of her children waiting at home, knowing this night would become a story of courage they would carry forever. The host's daughter embraced her gently, proving compassion can cross every boundary pride once tried to defend. Guests approached with softened hearts, offering respect not from guilt alone, but from understanding earned through reflection. The rich man promised change within his home, realizing dignity protected in small moments builds a just world slowly. She picked up her gloves again, not as a sign of status, but as a symbol of work honored through self-respect. The family dinner ended quietly, yet every person carried a lesson stronger than any word spoken that night. From humiliation rose redemption, reminding all that humanity shines brightest when pride bows before truth. Her journey from silence to respect became a living message that compassion can restore what cruelty once broke. Some stories end with applause, but this one ended with hearts changed and dignity standing unshaken forever. If this journey moved you,